Can't hear.
Happy Halloween, everyone. All right. Enough of that.
I can't hear the music, so I'm just sitting in silence.
True,
while
yeah,
he's
Steph can
dancing.
hear it. There we go. Okay, all right, cool. Yeah, Steph cannot hear the music at all. It's just me and headphones. Here.
It's okay.
No, go ahead. Feel the vibe. Oh, music.
Nice.
Ooh. Anyways, happy Halloween, everybody. How you guys doing in this Hallows Eve? Our first Monday live stream, maybe? Right?
Yeah, maybe.
This might be our first Monday live stream. I don't know. I could be wrong on that. But how you guys doing? Happy Halloween, happy Hallows Eve, wherever you guys might be. I know for some folks that are watching right now, like Team Rando, it's Halloween. Like, it's Halloween for you guys now, technically, I think, right? Yeah. Should be. So we got some folks in here. It's already Halloween, and for us here in the U.S., we are counting down just a few more hours until it is finally Halloween. And yes, Erica even said happy belated birthday, Steph. Everybody, last night was Stephanie's birthday. She's coming down to the final years in the 20s. Actually, final year.
Yeah, this is like, what final years of what?
Final countdown. Now it's technically less than a year until you're 30. No.
Yeah.
You look good. Don't worry. No problem there. So hope you guys are doing great. We are a few hours until Halloween. We are, for our friends out in the West Coast, for Hollywood, it is y'all's last day of HHN tomorrow night, which is kind of sad. That is some sad news to hear. And then for us here on the East Coast.
Speakers down.
Oh, is the speakers too loud? Here, I got you. Is that better? I might be a little too loud. But yeah, and then we got a few more days until HHN's over. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. And I still feel like we haven't done everything. There's still some food I want to try. We didn't even go to the Peacock Bar once.
No.
Not a single time.
We don't drink.
We don't. But still, to even go on there. So, and then Javier's also celebrating birthday on the 27th. Happy belated birthday, Javier.
Yeah.
Also, I want to pull this up too, real quick. Mr. Antonis Andriotis with the $9.99 said, "You guys are so lucky to have HHN open an extra week." Just what we were talking about, where Hollywood closes tomorrow night. Been 5 times. It's been a killer year. I will say, out in Hollywood, it's been awesome. The one time we went back in September for our first time ever, and we will be doing a live stream in November once the event completely closes out for us on the East Coast, and we'll kind of do a recap of our year, and then of HHN, as well as the houses, the scare zones, things to improve on, things we're excited for, and then really start getting ready for the 2024 speculation season. That's already going, believe it or not. Like 2024 speculation's already kind of going, and we kind of got in the mix a little bit, just a little bit, but not too much. Yeah. So let's see. Is the by the way, is the audio all good? I see somebody saying it's repeating and echoing.
Echoing? I don't know why it would be doing that.
Yeah. Anybody else? Is it echoing on your end? Because if it's echoing on your end, just refresh the live stream. Sometimes that helps. Kick it in. But what I'll do is here, I'm gonna turn the music off. That might even help too, because sometimes the music.
Yeah, Erica said all good.
Yeah. Try refreshing the stream. That might be the issue with it. So, anyways, today we're gonna just chat. Right, like we've been for the past few weeks. We're just gonna chat. We're gonna talk a couple of things. We recently saw the Five Nights at Freddy's movie opening night, so we got to see that. We'll talk about that a little bit. We won't really get into the spoilers and stuff. If you guys haven't seen it, we've already released a video doing our movie review and kind of talking about its, I guess, upcoming 2024 debut. I guess for Five Nights at Freddy's potentially. It's all rumors, specs. So that's going to be, that was in a video that we recently posted. So check that out. We'll talk a little bit about that on the live stream tonight. And I think we'll talk a little bit about the event this year. Not too much, because the other part of it is we're going to be carving a pumpkin. And it's not any of these 2 pumpkins you see on the screen. Steph actually has a pumpkin out to your left if you want to show everybody the big boy we got.
I don't know. Do you want me to actually pick it up?
It's okay. You don't have to show anybody. Oh. It's fine. We'll just wait till we show you guys later. But yeah, we got a pumpkin we're going to carve on for you guys tonight, kicking off Halloween here in a few hours. It's going to be a chilled live stream, just kind of relax and all. I realized we did not dress the part. No costumes. So we failed in that department.
It's not Halloween yet.
So Halloween year-round.
We don't need costume. This is our costume.
I feel like Steph, because of us doing HHN, like YouTube, her Halloweenness has gone down.
It has, 100%.
It's kind of sad to see.
It is.
Her Halloween has gone down and mine's gone up.
Yeah.
I feel like I've drained it from you.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad. That's a sad live stream now. I think we should end it now. That's it, guys. Happy Halloween. Merry Christmas coming up. Forget the turkey. We're skipping that one. Straight to
Hondo
Christmas.
does not have a costume. We need to get him one.
We talked about
He would not wear it. He would chew it.
probably, but we talked about getting him for Halloween doing a little ghost costume, get a little blanket, put the little blanket over him, and have just like his little nose and eyes opened up. And wanted to do a little photo shoot, but nothing goes our way around Halloween, so we'll do it for next year, where we'll all dress up like ghosts and do a little photo shoot of all of us, maybe some pumpkin heads and things like that. So we'll just chat a little bit, do some pumpkin carving, and what I mean by we'll do pumpkin carving, we'll probably have Steph do the pumpkin carving, because I'm not good at that, unless Steph doesn't want to, and we'll just not do that.
Just got the pumpkin for nothing.
No, we'll end up doing something with it. Another thing, too, is with the whole pumpkin carving that we're going to do tonight, we don't know exactly what we want to do for the carving. We have no plans for that.
It's like the theme of this live stream is, we don't know what we're doing.
Maybe Steph doesn't know what she's doing.
You just said that we don't know what we're doing.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Exactly.
I never know what I'm doing. But anyways, how are you guys doing today? So what we'll do is actually, do you want to just pull it out now? Do we just want to start carving away?
Sure.
Should we start carving the pumpkin now, guys? Also, it says we need to pump up the Halloween. We do. I feel like it's what's crazy is like
that's me pumping up Halloween.
Get out of here. I feel like a lot of people, and because of HHN and how like brutal the spec season is and stuff, we get so many people that kind of like tap out like early. Oh no, this might be an issue.
People are saying yes, so I'm gonna get it set up.
Okay. We're gonna hopefully I'll put the mic over here on my side and Steph's gonna carve on her side. Because I realize the cord is hold. Yeah, just move it out of the way. See you, pumpkin. We don't need you. Because we're bringing out the big boy.
Oh. Are you just gonna make me carve a pumpkin while
I'm just gonna watch
talk?
We're just gonna watch you carve a pumpkin. I'm not even gonna talk. Everybody's just gonna watch.
Great.
So this is the steps that you need.
This is on the internet for everybody to watch.
At least this is the only thing.
This is my digital footprint.
From carving a pumpkin. So I think what we're gonna do, we'll probably just do what, like a traditional jack-o'-lantern?
Yeah. I was saying kind of like that guy.
Yeah, we got like one of the pumpkins on the wall that we have over here. We may just do a traditional carve and do that. But yeah.
We already have the
whole live stream carving a pumpkin chat.
We already have the top cut off. Just in case.
I feel like oh yeah, I turned the music off. Let me put this over here.
This is my least favorite part of carving a pumpkin.
Really?
Is getting all this gunk out.
It smells like pumpkin. It's so exciting.
Touching it.
Oh, pumpkin. Oh, what is that?
Pumpkin
guts. I carve you. Do you need a knife? Here, we can give you the
what
pumpkin
did Brian
here.
say? Mando said what Brian said went over everyone's head.
I don't know what I said.
What did you say? I think it went over his head.
Everything I say goes over our head. Here you go, Steph. Look, the pumpkin's helping you carve the other pumpkin.
Brian, Javier wants to know if you like pumpkin pie.
I do. I actually love pumpkin pie. I love pumpkin pie. We
just
actually
bought a giant one from Costco.
Yeah, Costco's got this ginormous pumpkin pie for $5.99. That is not bad at all. Also, another thing we need to talk about before we get into like the horror night stuff and like all the official like boring stuff.
That's
what
people are here for.
No, everybody's tired of horror nights. I can see it in y'all's eyes. What is y'all's favorite Halloween candy?
Ooh.
Like,
see, we've had this debate.
Steph and I had this debate long ago. This was back in like May. I think it was like May or June. We had this whole debate about like, oh, what's your favorite Halloween candy? We were actually trying to go to bed, and I randomly brought this question up to Stephanie, and it ended up being what? Like a 2-hour conversation, which should not have taken that long. And we briefly mentioned it in Discord a while back, and it's something that I wanted to save. And here's the thing. This is where it gets tricky, right? I say, what is your favorite like Halloween candy? And it's like, what do you count as Halloween candy?
I think it's anything that can be in a wrapper, because like
that's a lot of things.
I know, but like okay, so like a like a fudge stripe cookie or Chips Ahoy cookie is not going to count because that doesn't come in a wrapper. Like it has to come in like an individual.
Not like those little mini, like the Oreos.
Right? I guess it does.
But that's not a Halloween candy. No. I'm talking like candy, like.
Because we were having this debate and we were like, well, does like Ferrero Rocher or like.
Well, see that you're jumping ahead there.
Chocolates.
But like for instance, like I want to see what y'all think. But like to me, Reese's. And I think Steph will agree, Reese's, right? Like we're team Reese's over here. And so it's like you have Reese's.
Andrew said the 2 small Twizzlers.
Oh, really? Like the little ones?
Like the
those
ones
are
that
good.
come in the little package?
Those are actually good. I like those. But see, like we're team Reese's over here. We love Reese's. I think that's, I mean, obviously if you guys know me, you know Reese's is kind of staple in our life. Oh no. Steph's getting pumpkin seeds all over.
This is Javier said candy or chocolate. See, that's the question.
Well, here's the thing. Like, if you say for Halloween, right? If you go trick or treating, what is something you can normally see? Reese's, like Reese's cups, are usually something you would see for Halloween candy, right? Which is a chocolate. It's not a candy; it's a chocolate. But if people say yes, technically, like those wrapped chocolates can count, then what Steph said, it's like, what about like Ferrero Rochers? What about Lindt truffle, like chocolates? Like, what about those gourmet chocolates?
Yeah, but nobody really gives those out on Halloween.
No, I mean, unless you go to some fancy place, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's like, so what count? Where's the line? Where do you draw the line? That's like, nope, that's just gourmet chocolate. You'll never have that as a Halloween candy. Like, what is like borderline? Because to me, I'm like team Reese's all the way, no matter what. Steph is probably, I'm going to say Steph is do or die Reese's with us. And it's like, what other ones? Because I've even talked to a couple people throughout the past few weeks about like, what's your favorite Halloween candy? And I've gotten some interesting ones too some that I've never heard of.
So like, I think an even more interesting question is, what's your least favorite? Like, which one do you get and you're like,
I think let's get the favorite one first, and then we'll get into the non-favorites.
I do agree that Almond Joys are underappreciated, but I do think you have to like nuts in your chocolate, which a lot of people don't, and you have to like coconut.
Oh. I just fell. Hold on, there we go.
But yeah, then you have to also like coconut, and a lot of people don't. So
Kit Kat, Kit Kat though, wasn't Kit Kat in our top 3 too? I think Kit Kat made our top 3.
Kit Kat's good, but it's not my top 3. I like
Really?
Butterfingers.
Ooh, Butterfinger. M&M's. M&M's is always like a good go-to. That's like a safe go-to.
Solid,
I feel like.
Yeah,
right?
I like the peanut M&Ms or the
Crunch.
peanut butter M&Ms.
Hollow Rand said anything full candy bar is gourmet.
I agree. On Halloween, yeah.
There is one time in my life when I went trick-or-treating and I came across a house that was giving away full candy bars.
I want to be that house. Like, I want to be the house that gives out, like,
great,
the really, like, bougie candy, and everybody on the street is like, all the kids are like, we want to go there.
If we hit the lottery and we get our fancy little haunted house and we do the trick-or-treating for you guys, we'll give out the full candy bars. But I think that'll be the only reason that actually ends up happening.
Yeah. We are planning, this is kind of, like, on topic, but off topic. We are planning on...
If you need me
I
to
think,
do that, let me know.
I think we haven't really talked about it recently, but I think we are planning on handing out candy tomorrow if anybody comes around. We don't know because it's our first year in this neighborhood.
A construction zone right now.
A brand new neighborhood. We have seen a lot of little kids though, so maybe there will be some trick-or-treaters, but
I'm gonna dress up.
We're planning on handing out candy and then probably going to HHN afterwards.
Oh, there you go. Cat's out of the bag. You guys know our plans.
People were asking.
Oh, that's if that goes as planned. I still got to go to work tomorrow, so we'll see. But going back to the candy though, so we got Crunch. I see some Crunch. Three Musketeers. Now, Three Musketeers, I used to have a craving for back in the day, where that's all I wanted. Yeah, Three Musketeers is good. Snickers is solid. I feel like Snickers has kind of gone down for me. Like I have to crave it. Other than that,
yeah.
I'm like,
I've never been a huge like Snickers. I'm not a huge fan of like caramel. Here's
the thing. Would you say Baby Ruth is like the same thing as like Snickers, right? Like a Baby Ruth?
Is it?
It's kind of like the same. I don't know. Do you guys think like Baby Ruth and like Snickers are kind of the same? Because truthfully, I am 100% like Team Baby Ruth over Snickers. I prefer that.
What is this? Tom and Nikki said they have a bag of 100. What is that? Chupa Chup? Sour lollies?
Chupa Chup sour lollies.
I know they also said they don't understand
Candy corn.
Candy corn. I like candy corn is one of those weird things where like you don't really think it tastes good, but it's addicting. You can't stop eating it.
I like candy corn. I enjoy that.
I like candy corn.
I don't know what the hate is for candy corn.
We used to make like it's almost like Chex Mix. It was like Chex Mix, pretzels, candy corn, and like peanuts.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really good because it's like the sweet and the salty. Like I feel like candy corn is good. It just needs a little something else.
Combination with it.
Yeah.
See, I can eat candy corn by itself though. Payday.
Paydays are really good. I love paydays because they're so
good.
salty.
Payday's a good one.
That's my favorite.
A Wonka bar, yeah, if it's got a golden ticket, sure. But then like, is like a payday like they have like small paydays, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten a payday for Halloween?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, I've never gotten.
Not very often. That's like one of the like more like least common.
Really? See, it's like what's like the top 3 Halloween candies? Like if we had to enact a law that was like only these 3 candies can be given out Halloween, what are those 3? And then which one should be outlawed?
See, I feel like it's hard to say the only 3 that can be given out because like so many people have like allergies to stuff that like I don't want to say only things with peanuts because then all the people who can't eat peanuts can't have Halloween candy.
Well, some people don't even like Halloween, so we should outlaw them too.
The people who don't like Halloween.
Yes, 100%.
But
Twix.
Twix are really good. I love Twix. That was one of my top ones.
That's got to be a top one. Yeah.
I think Reese's, Butterfinger, and Twix are my favorite.
Ooh. Today's National Candy Corn Day, by the way. Do we have any like little sweets in the house?
Yeah, we bought candy today at Publix.
Yeah.
To pass out, and then we have Reese's.
Steph's parents is in town, and I think I got back home from work or something, or they arrived, and they had a whole bag of like Reese's. And they're like, "Oh, we're gonna do this for the trick or treaters." I'm like, that bag's gonna be gone before the trick or treating starts.
Yeah.
I might dig into a couple of those. Tonight's live stream, Steph carves.
It's the Reese's pumpkins too, which I feel like are the best.
Like the Christmas tree, they have the shaped ones.
The shaped ones are better than the regular ones.
Right. Is that what you guys prefer if you have Reese's? Do you prefer like the regular Reese's cups or do you prefer the shaped ones? So I feel like the shaped ones have so much more peanut butter to them, but I like how sharp the edges are on the Reese's cup for some reason.
See, I don't like that. The chocolate's too hard.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
I agree. The eggs are the best.
Ooh, eggs. Like for Easter those are really good. I don't know. Oh, and they've recently had the Reese's Bats too. And I like those.
Yeah, those are good.
I tore those up.
I like the trees for Christmas.
Trees are good. Yeah, tonight's live stream should be called Carving from Orlando. Erica said their Publix has a BOGO on Reese's Pumpkins.
Oh, really?
All right, I need to step out. I'm going to go for a Reese's raid. I got to get enough Reese's to last us for till tomorrow at least.
Listen, we found what was it called? The Reese's Puffs, but the bats. And I bought 2 boxes of the like bats because they were on sale.
Uh-huh.
And Brian literally wouldn't eat the second box of bats because he wanted to save it.
Yep.
He's like, they're limited edition.
I wanted to open that pantry up and then take a look and be like, there they are. It's Halloween still. Also, I made a mess. And I'm not even carving. Oh, no.
I don't know how this is going to go.
It's going to go one way or another, and that's it. All right, hold up. Do we bring like a napkin?
No.
Ah! We do have those. I brought those, actually, the hand towels there. You can just. Okay. Cool.
Whirly bars.
Do you want to show them what we got so far?
I feel like.
Oh, no.
I feel like.
There it is. That's it. That's all we need.
When was the first time I carved a pumpkin?
Oh, good question.
I don't know. I was
3.
infant.
I think I was 3 years old. The first one I remember. Steph was carving pumpkins like literally the day she was born.
Javier said I seem like a pro.
Oh yeah, Steph is like, that's why I don't carve the pumpkins. Last year we didn't carve pumpkins last year.
No, we didn't.
I remember we looked at ourselves and we're like, why do we suck? We didn't carve any pumpkins last year, but the year before we did. And actually I have a photo. Do I have a photo of it? Let me see. Also, Hornites, by the way, tweeted out saying, knock knock, hope you locked your door. That's just great to put out in the public.
Creepy.
Let me see. I know I got a photo, I believe, from HHN 30. So back in 2021, we did some pumpkin carving. I think it was on Halloween night, right?
Carve a Yeti.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
That is one thing we did talk about, having you guys decide exactly what Steph was going to carve out of the pumpkin. And then we both took like 2 seconds. There's like, what if somebody's like,
everybody's gonna be like, carve Jack the Clown, and I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if we can go that far now. Let me see, guys. Hold up. I gotta find that photo.
I can do some good carving if I have a template, but I just didn't have time to print one out.
We're gonna go traditional. All right, so I don't think I've ever showed this photo, but I don't know if you guys can see. It's probably not going to be a good. It's probably not going to work. Oh no. I might be able to. Maybe not. All right, let me get up. I will show you. I'm gonna try to get up. So back in HHN 30, we carved pumpkins on Halloween night. I'm gonna show you what we did. Okay, hold up 1 second. There we go. So we did a little boo and then a little squinting face. Let me see. I got a picture at night. Boom. Ta-da. There we go. And then a hot dog. All right, then let me get back to Steph carving a pumpkin. I'm hearing creepy noises.
I know.
Yeah, so we did from Wicked Growth. I'm knocking everything over. We did Little Boo and then that little squint face, a little like sour face or whatever. Stephanie loved that. Every time we went into the Wicked Growth house, we'd always point at it, and Steph would always do the face with it. That was always a lot of fun. I miss Wicked Growth.
Yeah.
Right? I miss like that type of vibe and stuff. Also, did anybody else do pumpkin carving for Halloween for this year? I wonder if anybody else did. Look who it is. Look who just joined us. Jason Chen. If you guys don't know this gentleman, we ran into them again this year. We ran into them at first back in HHN 30, and it was technically in Islands of Adventure. So we didn't even see each other at Horror Nights until finally this year. But with a 50 saying it was wonderful to bump into you guys again at Universal Studios Orlando on Thursday, October 19th. He's even got the receipt. We forgot to buy you two some HHN specialty drinks or snacks when we met. Enjoy. We appreciate it. Did not have to do that.
Thank you.
But thank you. Thank you so much. We'll put it into buying me more Reese's cups for Halloween tomorrow. I am hungry. And we're talking like just food. But Jason, I hope you and the family are having a good time. And I hope to see you for HHN next year, maybe.
Yeah.
Because we'll be out there. You know where to find us.
And speaking of being hungry, talking about food, we didn't finish our conversation about what candy we would outlaw.
Yeah, that's true. Did anybody say what county? What county
they would outlaw?
Which
The whole
county is going to be
gone.
outlawed? Orange County gone. Let's see. Hold up. Holloran said I triple dog dare to eat a handful of that pumpkin.
Ew, no.
If 10 people were to donate like $100, sure.
10 people donated $100. Like 10 people donated $10 and it equaled 100, or
no, each. Yes.
Would that be? Yeah.
Each person donates $100. I get 10 people doing that. I'll eat the pumpkin. So in other words,
I'll eat the pumpkin.
There you go. Don't do that, guys. Like, don't. I don't want you guys donating money for me to eat pumpkin because I will not. I go eat a pumpkin pie. That sounds good. We got that downstairs in the fridge. I will eat that
Does sound
tonight.
good.
So, also, yeah. So, anybody else carved pumpkins for Halloween this year? And are any of you guys going trick or treating tomorrow?
And what candy would you outlaw?
What candy would you outlaw? Also, what costume are you going to be wearing tomorrow? Or
All
are you going to go to
questions.
HHN tomorrow? Do you want to show them an update? Hold
We've
on.
been
Turn it
s-
around. Turn it around. You got to show them.
We've been seeing a lot of people wearing costumes at HHN.
Now pop
this
it
year.
out.
I have to do it in 2 parts.
Oh, 2 parts.
I
Sorry,
don't want
guys.
to break the teeth.
She doesn't want to break the teeth. I wish you guys could see what Steph's doing. It's interesting. Every time Steph carves a pumpkin, I'm just like, whoa. Here, give me that. Wait, why does the other one look like that?
It's 2 pieces.
Oh. Looks like you made like
It's sitting like that.
a thing.
A thing.
I don't know. Da, 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 da. Oh, ah! I'm still making a mess.
I
Here you
think if
go.
I had to outlaw a candy,
Got a little. Oh. You go, Steph. You can be a little pumpkin cat.
nice.
I'm an ogre.
It needs to be wiped off, but
Oh, is that okay? Just threw that in there. Look at that. Oh, you got like a happy little
yeah.
jack-o'-lantern. That's actually cute. You did it so quick. We're like 30 minutes in. I thought it was
I
going to be like
know.
an hour and a half.
I know. I was like, I'll just go simple because I don't want it to take too long. And
It's-
then it.
Stephanie, even before the live stream, Stephanie's like, oh, should I take all the stuff out, so it doesn't take too long? I was like, how long is it going to take you? She's like, 10 minutes. I was like, this will be a quick live stream. Here, let me get you a...
I was gonna say I need to wash my hands. I think if I had to outlaw candy,
Yeah, well, let's stick with the candy
it would
first.
be.
Actually,
I think it would either be okay.
I know
have
what I would
3.
outlaw.
I have 3.
I have one major one.
The lowest tier, so like not my least favorite, but still not good, is dots. I think those are bad.
Oh, dots?
Yeah, the gummy. I
Oh.
don't like those. And then I think the 2 most egregious candies that just should never exist are the little Coke bottle wax
Oh, the little
things.
No, those suck.
Those are awful.
I'm sorry.
And then the ones that are the little candy dot thingies that are on the piece of paper, and all the paper comes off, so you're just eating paper. Those.
This is actually not a candy, but the dentist packs. Every year in Halloween, I'd get a dentist pack of floss,
Yeah.
a little bit of toothpaste, and a miniature toothbrush. And I was like, great, thanks. I honestly, I hated doing this, but I would literally try to trade with kids in the neighborhood. Nobody wanted it.
No,
So
why would anybody want that?
yeah, so I threw it away all the time. And
No, those
my
are
parents
bad.
would get mad at me.
I got toothbrushes every once in a while.
It was always from somebody who was a
That's-
dentist.
that's
I'm like,
not-
what are you doing?
It's not
Come on.
fair. And it's always their name in the
Oh,
handle
in the
of the
pack.
toothbrush too.
Hondos.
Have
Right?
you ever said milk duds? I love milk duds.
I actually like milk duds.
I
I
really
like
like
milk
them.
duds. Let's see. Also, happy Halloween, October Tuesday 31st. Yes, happy Halloween. Happy Halloween for everybody joining in.
Halloween also said milk duds worst candy.
No, I don't think so. What about black licorice? Doesn't your mom like black licorice?
Yeah.
Oh no, Helene.
Yeah, black licorice is the worst.
Yeah, black. Yeah, I don't know about that. What's another? I'm talking
Pixie sticks. I like pixie sticks.
Okay, here might be a hot take. Ring pops.
Yeah,
No,
ring pops aren't very good.
can't do. Or those ones that are the fun dipping sticks.
I love those.
No,
those
dude.
are good.
Those were. I got so excited getting one for my first. There was one Halloween I saw kids having them. I was like, oh my god, I've always wanted one. I've never had one. I didn't get one until next year's Halloween. I remember this. This was 2008. And I didn't get one until next year's Halloween. And I was so excited to try it. I opened it the moment we got it. And I was so disappointed. That
Really?
sugar, my mouth was
like it.
salivating for me. I was like, that was just too much.
I like it.
Ugh.
You know what ones are fun but don't really taste good?
Most of them.
Pop Rocks. Did you ever have Pop Rocks?
Yeah, Pop Rocks were just fun. But yeah, like you said, it just, I liked it with Pop Rocks. I'd put the whole thing in my mouth.
Yeah, right.
And my mouth was just like blowing up.
Um,
What was Pop Rock? Like, what
I
is
don't
that?
know.
That can't be like legal.
Oh, like Valentine's Day, like chalky heart things. Yeah, those are not very good.
No, those
but-
suck. Yeah, sorry, those are bad. Oh,
Yeah.
black. Oh, or not black. Tootsie Rolls. I
Oh,
see.
good.
I like Tootsie Rolls. I think those are classic. Just simple.
I really like the fruit flavored Tootsie Rolls. Those are really good.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. Somebody back me up. The fruit the fruit flavored Tootsie Rolls. They have like they have vanilla. I guess that's not fruit.
I thought you were gonna
but
say the Flute Hoops.
They have I think they have like blueberry or I know they have like vanilla. Maybe like strawberry.
What about
Those are
Nerds?
good. They're called something else. I always just thought they were Tootsie Rolls.
What about Nerds? What do you think about Nerds? I'm actually mixed with Nerds. The grape ones I did not like at all.
Oh no, I don't do grape anything.
Yeah,
so,
I'm not
no.
I'm not really into the grape, but like I don't know, like Nerds was like kind of cool, but it just was like not enough.
Javier and I are like complete opposites because he said Laffy Taffy is awful, especially banana. The
Javier,
banana Laffy Taffy is so good. That was my favorite.
I'm gonna have to ban Javier for that.
I like the sour ones too. So like the sour apple.
Oh, see,
Those are
you
good.
like the
I like
sour
sour
stuff.
stuff.
I don't like sour stuff
No.
at all. Like Sour Patch Kids, I got into for a little bit, but then I couldn't for like a month. I was like done.
Do you like lemon heads?
Banana.
like lemon
Oh
heads.
no, or like Warheads. Oh,
I like those.
Ugh. I remember kids challenged us for Warheads, so I did it. But I think that's where my taste for sour went downhill because of those. We used to do so much.
I used to do those too, and it just made me like desensitized to sour stuff.
Ugh.
Now I like don't even flinch.
I think I threw up one day from it, to be honest. Oh,
Yeah,
Nerds
yeah.
Rope. You remember the Nerds
The
Rope?
Nerds Rope.
Those are good.
Is
I actually like the Nerds Rope.
really good. I used to really like, when you go to the movie theater and they had the Sour Punch straws, but it was an actual straw that you could get with the slushies.
No,
Those were good.
I don't remember that.
But Sour Punch straws are good too.
See,
Just
sour
like
straws, yeah.
The regular ones.
Sour Skittles.
Sour Skittles like make my tongue hurt.
Yeah, I'm good.
They like you'll eat them so much and they'll literally like scrape off your tongue.
What is I was just about to say one that popped. Oh, isn't like a bubble gum like technically a Halloween candy? You know, like those little like yellow, pink, and blue ended, like they're yellow wrapped up, right? It's a pink little bubble gum wrapped up in a yellow wrapper
like
with the blue.
bubble or whatever.
Love those
No, those were bad.
because they would last for 5 minutes max,
Yeah,
and then the flavor's gone. But what I would do is I'd always pop in 4 at a time, and I was always trade for those Reese's and Twix. I remember those were, and Butterfinger and Baby Ruth. Those were like backups in case. But those were always 3 that I go because playing baseball, I don't always have bubble gum. So I'd always go to the kids and they had different flavor ones sometimes, and I mix a variety of them. They'd only last 5 minutes. I spit them out and I pop in the next pack. I used to have hundreds of those after Halloween, always. And I wonder,
I didn't like those.
if any of you guys that are going trick or treating tomorrow or taking your kids or family or anybody like that trick or treating, like, is that still a big thing? I think we had a conversation about this too, because I remember as a kid, our neighborhood, it was a huge thing. Halloween, all houses were out trick or treating. And I feel like now in Orlando, I just don't see anyone or hear anyone trick or treating now. It makes me sad. And maybe just because we don't have like kids that we know of in that age group that go.
Yeah.
But like, I would go trick or treating. And people are like, "Oh, you're too old." I'm like, "I'm getting free candy, bro. Like, you know how much this stuff costs in the dang in grocery stores now? I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna get my candy's worth. I'm doing what I gotta do. Here, I'll dress up. What are you? I'm a guy, and I'm out."
Yeah. I like Twizzlers. Twizzlers are good too. I like they have different flavored ones now too.
Starburst.
Starburst are good.
Oh, Big League Chew. Big League Chew.
No, Big League Chew was the one that
I
looked like it was like
I liked Big League Chew.
it was all like
That was the
strings
best.
in it.
That was baseball.
If we're talking about gum, I've told Brian this so many times and he does not know what I'm talking about. There was this gum that came in a little like tin, and it was like a metal tin that looked like Band-Aids, but it was like sour.
Every time you
strips
tell
of
me, I
gum.
keep thinking like,
Does
"Oh, what
anybody
is
know what
that?"
I'm talking about?
Somebody
That
help
was
this
my
woman.
favorite. It was so good.
Also, as we're still talking about candy, your pumpkin's done. Is that it?
Yeah. What do you want me to add to it?
I don't know. Should
I
we
guess
add
a
some?
nose. I could put a nose on there.
What do you guys think? What else should we add to Steph's pumpkin here? I
Benny
kind
Bob said
of
that.
like it though. It's kind of cute
Benny
stuff.
Bob said trick or treating is still
Don't add the. I don't know. I guess you can add.
still a big deal in his neighborhood.
Really?
Yeah.
Give us the address of your neighborhood. We're coming trick or treating. I'm gonna
Don't
get an
do that.
address of all. Yeah, don't do that. Actually, please don't. I'm gonna get an address of all the big like Halloween trick or treat neighborhoods, and I'm gonna go ransack it. I'm taking all the candy. I'm doing all of it. Somebody said a hat. Should we add a hat too?
How?
I got an idea. Hold on. Entertain the people.
Yeah, I'm adding a nose.
I have an idea.
Expired Pop-Tarts? I don't think we'll be eating those. Yeah, I know. I've heard that the UK has never really like done a lot of Halloween stuff, which sucks. But I mean, like Brian said, I feel like we don't really see, at least on Halloween Day anymore, we don't really see a ton of like people out or trick-or-treaters or anything. So I don't know.
Maybe it's just us.
Maybe it's just because we don't have kids, so we're not like
We got Hondo now. We can take him trick or treating. All right, so there's a little pumpkin. Like you want to put like the little blade, make it in his mouth. Oh, maybe
No.
that won't work.
I added the nose, but it's like I can barely see it on the
Here.
thing.
There you go.
He's got a little hat.
What should his name be? Don't give me a traditional name. Let's give a
say
cool.
Jack because Jack o' Lantern. But yeah,
Boring. He's a bandit.
Okay, has nobody ever heard of the Band-Aid bubblegum that I'm talking about?
Nobody responded about that?
No. Someone handed Rice Krispie treats out. That's cool.
See,
Actually,
Rice Krispies good though.
I had somebody. I remember somebody when I was young passing out those the popcorn balls. Did you ever have one of those popcorn balls? They're like different flavors.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Hated that.
Really?
Sorry, I
Yeah,
was
he
like,
doesn't like popcorn.
yeah, I was never big on popcorn. I was like, nah, don't give me that. What is the best thing that you've ever gotten for Halloween when you went trick or treating?
See, look at.
Yeah, you showed me a picture of him. I still don't know what that is. I have no idea.
See,
It
with
even
Hubba
says,
Bubba.
but it even says like "ouch" on it.
Yeah,
I'm good.
it
I'm
was
not
by
eating from a
Hubba
tin that
Bubba.
says "ouch."
Someone said they remember it. Thank you.
Javier said Jack E. Robinson.
I like that.
Mafiosokin. We gotta think of a name for him. Yeah, but like, what is the maybe not the best thing you got? What is maybe the most outrageous thing you guys ever gotten while trick or treating? I got a spoon.
Think a toothbrush.
You think a toothbrush? I got a spoon for Halloween once, but the spoons were like the like character spoons. They were like small and they lit up. I thought it was kind of cool, but I was like, what is this? I feel like some lady was just like, I gotta get rid of these things. Here you go, kid.
Right.
Here you go. Here's our like checkbook. It's empty. Take it. Don't need it. Here's this. Take that.
Just picking up random stuff.
All right. A makeshift haunted house in their garage. Still number one on my hype list. Yeah. Who here also? I know we're just kind of getting all over the place. Pumpkin ASMR. But who here does like their own like Halloween like decorations for the house, and who makes like a haunted house experience? Do any of you guys do that?
Yeah, Benny Bob said my family does that every year. That's cool.
That's awesome. Anybody else do like little makeshift like home haunts and stuff? Because my family, we actually did one. My brother's birthday is very close to Halloween. we decided to go ahead and celebrate that with Halloween. She did a huge party in the backyard one day. Huge. I mean, it was awesome, right? We had all these little competitions and things like mystery, like head bobbing. Like we had to put your head into like certain like spaghetti, but it was like brains and things like that to find something.
Or
and
like peeled grapes is like eyeballs.
yeah. Ugh. It was I didn't like that. I was like, this is weird. But she also made a makeshift. You're also like just barely hiding behind this. She also made like a makeshift little haunted house in the backyard. It was so cool, so cheesy, but it was a lot of fun. And anybody who went trick or treating could also come to the party and like go through the haunted house. I was terrified of that thing because I was like, it was the weirdest thing to me. We had this huge thing in the backyard that was a little walkthrough. And even at night, knowing where everything was, I was like, I'm not going to go through that. I was too terrified because a lot of it was triggered, like things like when you walked by, there's certain like censored and triggered stuff that we had and all.
Yeah.
And it was so cool. And it was, I think after that year, my mom, if you're watching this, shame on you. She put one of these animatronic things in my closet.
But she doesn't even like scary stuff.
She doesn't. But my mom's one of those people that she's like, she's gonna go do something, she's gonna go all out kind of thing.
That's true.
I mean, your mom is kind of the same thing. Like,
yeah.
So, but yeah. So anybody else here? I haven't read the chat yet since, but anybody else here do like their makeshift little haunts?
Javier has a good question. What was the first costume you remember wearing for trick or treating? His was Jango Fett.
Oh, Jango Fett's a good one. That's a good one. I think I should show him a photo.
Yeah. Mine, I remember two, and I can't remember which one came first. One year, I remember being an angel, I think.
You're always an angel, my love.
And then I remember being Mulan.
Mulan.
Yes. I had the little slippers were like it was like her dress. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah. I know exactly what you mean. All right. So here we go, right? Let's crank this down for you guys. So this right here, this is one of the first ones I remember. And it's iconic. Why? Because I was Dracula. Here, can I bring the brightness down? Yeah, I can, right? So there you go. It's me, my little brother right there. We were vampires, and I was Dracula, and this was a long time ago.
Mom's laughing at you.
Pretty cool, huh? I look real.
What do you mean you were real?
More real?
No, I said you were real.
Oh, thanks. I was a real vampire stuff.
I just meant a real human.
I'm a real boy.
I just want to play with this stuff.
What are we gonna do with this? Just throw it away?
I can't have stuff like this in front of me. I just want to play with it.
Except you're still hiding behind pumpkins. Yeah, so literally Dracula since I can remember. So it's only fitting, right?
Yeah.
But I was all kinds of things too.
I was a vampire at one point. I was just a little bit older than that when I did the vampire.
And then we became adults and we got paid to dress up like vampires.
Yeah.
Right?
Barely paid. No, I'm kidding.
It's been 12 years and I'm still trying.
Yeah, full circle moment.
Right. Yeah, my mom sent that to me not too long ago, and I saw a picture, and I was like, whoa. I was like, well, if there are signs from God, there it is.
Also, they do a really good job of making, the pumpkin guts in, the houses and the trivia store and stuff. Like, the fake stuff that they make. It looks really good.
Yeah. Well.
Do you want to talk about...
Should we get into what the channel is all about?
Yeah, probably.
HHN.
Especially since we're at 50 minutes.
Are we? Stuff's like, time. We're done. Good night.
No, I'm just saying.
I was even thinking of going to midnight, bringing in Halloween. I don't think I'll make it. I'm tired, guys.
No.
We've been all day at work. So, who here is going to HHN tomorrow? And who here is coming to HHN for the next few days coming up? Because I know a few people have reached out to us. They're actually going to go to HHN coming up in the next days for their first time this year. And I think in the last live stream, we talked about this where it's is there HHN fatigue right now going on? Is there a Halloween fatigue? I know like Universal and Islands of Adventure, they have Christmas stuff already up. All the retailers have Christmas stuff up. And I know Christmas is exciting. I love Christmas, don't get me wrong. But it's like the question comes up of, do we start? And let me give it a second to see if anybody's going real quick, Agent. Let me finish this question and then we'll get to the next one. All right.
Erica said yes.
There we go. Yeah, you got to get in
Benny
as much
Bob
as you can.
said maybe.
Benny Bob, we may swing over and go check out
Come to your haunted house.
check out the house. That'd be fun. Yeah, so we I know we got a couple people that are going. But one question that I have, and we talked about this yesterday, I think it was yesterday, right? There's a bit of HHN fatigue, and we know a lot of people. I don't know how big of a fan they are with HHN, and they might be like recent people to the community. They kind of talk about where they're like, oh, like, you know, I'm done with it. We've been so many times, we're done. And I remember people saying like, oh, like this was back in speculation season. They're like, we want HHN to start in August. And I was like, no. I was like, September and October are perfect HHN months. It should never be bumped up into August. Once they do that, you go down a slippery slope of when it should start, when all that kind of stuff. Just beginning of September, right? But we've even talked about, you know, because of this fatigue going on, and it's like, to us, even we've gone so many times too, we get there, like, it's still fun. We still love it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But we're kind of like, okay, what do you want to do? Well, we've done houses 100 times, you know, this year. We've been through the scare zones. We've seen everything. So we're kind of like, well, I don't know. Like, we've done that. We could do it again, right?
I will say, Javier said, I'm hoping there's HHN fatigue for November, so the lines get short. We went last night, and it
last night. Oh my god, yeah, that was last night.
And it was not busy.
No, that was the slowest day of HHN I've ever experienced.
Yeah,
and that's October 29th, guys. Like Halloween weekend, really.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy,
and that'll be a conversation we'll get into, and then we talked about it last live stream too, where it seems like the month of October has been less crowded than the month of September. And I think everybody was like just playing around
with the seeds.
And it just seems like everybody, you know, the word got out of, hey, HHN's less busier in September than it is October. Hey, like, you know, Wednesday is slower than it is Saturday. Yeah. And it seems like it flipped this year. And so it's like, either that or also everybody was kind of so excited for this HHN. They all like got it as soon as they can in September, or that was the time they could get off. Yeah. Where October, I felt like there was no crowds, and the weather's been beautiful.
Great
for October. So like I would vouch saying, hey, like if you're going to go to HHN, go later in October.
We're really interested to see what the crowds are like tomorrow. And if we're kind of getting back to that whole, like where it was a decade ago, where it was like Halloween night was dead.
Yeah. We will go tomorrow to HHN. We're going to check that out. We'll go for the next few days. Well, we'll go as much as we can. Yeah. But it really does seem like later in the event has slowed up this year, which is kind of surprising. I thought it would at least get a little strong, you know, for the end of the event. But I know some of the, you know, the locals, they're going to go to the event in the last day, of course. You know, people are going to try to get that last minute one. But it's like yesterday, absolutely dead. I have a video too. I'll post in the Discord for you guys to see. It was like 8:30. We were in Dark Zodiac. There was nobody. There was no one around. There was more scare actors than there were guests. I'm like, 8:30 last night?
Yeah.
So that really surprised me. But I was getting to something with that. Oh, we talked about like September and October to me are perfect months for HHN. But would it make HHN more special and more of a high value sought out ticket if it was just October?
I would like that. The only issue I see there being is the crowds are already so ridiculous. Limiting it to only like 4 weeks, I feel like the crowds would only get worse. Don't you think?
I mean, yeah, I'd agree. It would be like all sold out nights, but the weather in October is so much better than September.
But that's people's choice if they want to go in September or October.
True. But what if they went every night in October?
What do you mean? Like
they did every night HHN in October. The 1st through the 31st.
You mean like Monday and Tuesdays?
Every day, yeah.
I'd almost rather, I don't know. Sometimes I like having Monday and Tuesday like as like a forced
off
rest day.
So we're not like, do we need to go to HHN tonight?
Because
Yes.
sometimes, especially like having frequent fear pass and being local, and also it being like for our channel and stuff, like I feel like sometimes we get into this habit of like not 100% wanting to go, and it's not because we don't want to go, but because like we're tired or we have stuff going on, whatever. Not necessarily wanting to go, but almost feeling like guilty if we don't. Like I'm like, oh, we should use our pass. Like there's only so many nights left. So I feel like if it was every night in October, but only the month of October, I feel like we would feel the need to go every single night, and then we would get absolutely nothing done. Don't you think?
Yeah, right. I'm trying to find.
His
name is Boris Schuster.
Yeah, I think if they limited it to 4 weeks and then only sold single night tickets, didn't do like frequent fair passes, I think that would make the crowds better, but it would really suck for us locals.
That'd be the end of our channel.
We could still talk about it and then go for our one weekend.
No, I'd look at HHN and say, we're gone. See ya. Sorry. Because can you imagine living local and not having a multi-night pass with what the current situation? They're like, no more frequent fair passes. What do we do? Opening night one day in
we go one weekend.
October, and then closing night. Like we go 3 days, spend $800, and that's it.
Yeah. I mean, what else are you gonna do?
Horror Nights is a terrible idea. Don't take that, please.
Yeah, please don't.
Nobody's enjoying that.
Please don't.
Hollow Ranch. Don't say that.
I know that.
Don't say that.
Crowds are getting ridiculous, but please don't.
Yeah. One thing too, crowds have been a problem. I will say, surprisingly, later in October, it hasn't been bad at all. Weather's been great. This has been a fantastic time to actually go to HHN. But what is one way that you guys believe that HHN should implement for next year's event? Since we're starting to get ready for next year, and we'll talk way more about this in November once HHN closes up. We're gonna wrap up and do all look back at HHN 32, talk about our favorite houses, talk about our favorite scare zones, and we're going to do the official voting with you guys where we say this house wins house of the year, this house wins scare zone of the year for us, and all that will be official anyways through Horror Nights, but we'll do it ourselves too. And we'll actually start speculation and stuff for next year, which, Five Nights at Freddy's right now has kind of been the big thing, the big talk going on as all that is. But what would you guys like to see HHN implement for it next year to help with crowds? And really, I would say, especially in September, chaperone policy. See, I like that.
I think it would help with crowds a lot.
I'd like that.
I think a lot of the issues with crowds is teenagers. Mm-hmm. And I think that it would help a lot to have like not like saying under this age you're not allowed to come, because I think anybody should be allowed to if they, can handle it or whatever. But I think like having a chaperone policy where like if you're under the age of 18 or whatever,
I'd say 18.
Then you need like somebody who's over like,
or even I would say 21 or older.
Yeah. To be with you. I think that would help cut down on a lot of the groups of teens that just go to like loiter, because like that's one of the biggest issues as far as like crowd flow goes. What
Fred said, I have a laundry list when it comes to this.
Yeah. It's gotten kind of bad.
I think, but what is one thing that is easy for them to do? And I think it's just another haunted house. I remember a couple people were talking about in Discord recently. Yeah, let me put this out there real quick. I'm gonna get cozy with this. Let me put this out there real quick. How do you feel about HHN 32 overall? Did you like it? Did you love it? Was it okay? Or did you not like it?
I liked it.
Right? I liked it. Merchandise was great. I enjoyed the merchandise this year. The houses, there are some really good houses I enjoyed. There were some that were average, some that didn't. There were some that really missed expectations for us. The scare zones kind of, they're not great, but they're not bad, right? They're kind of there, The show, we only watched Nightmare Fuel once. We'll probably do that one more time this week.
We probably should.
And, behind the streams, incredible. The food has been great. What else am I missing? the speculation season was terrible.
Not good.
Right? Spec was fun for the community. The announcement season was a drag. So when I look at HHN 32 as a whole overall, I'm like, it was good, right? There were good moments, but there are some things that obviously could be worked on, some things to look at. And I've talked with a few people too about certain things that we've saw that's changed with HHN, which we can easily pinpoint to why a lot of people aren't liking it. You can find ways why that's the case. But what is something that they can add to the event, right? Because this year, technically, they took away from the event. HHN 31, we had 10 houses, 2 shows. We had multiple food booths and stuff, 5 scare zones. This year, the Dr. Oddfellow scare zone in the front, very small. Sorry to say. I wish it was a little more than that. It's hard when they're working in that space, I will say. I'm glad we still got something. But then you had only 1 show this year. And I would even argue that there's less food booths. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's less food booths this year than what we've had in years past. So it just feels like we've had less this year. They took more from last year to this year then. And, prices and all that increase. So I'm hoping that they don't look at it for next year and they're like, oh, we're adding another show. And there's your 2 shows. No, we've had that. So I feel like the question is on the table of 11 houses potentially. And I know this is something everybody talks about is more houses coming to the event. But if you look back at their 5-year theory we talked about all speculation season, if you track it, 25, 26, 27, you had an addition and stuff. But then you had 28 and 29. Those were the 10 house years. 28 was that. Technically, we're coming up to HHN 33, which would be HHN 28 in that 5-year span, which was a new house addition. So we're coming up to that 5-year span where a new house could potentially be. Heard rumors that the Minions, the Villain Con little building has enough space for a house. I don't know where, but that's what I'm hearing is that they have space for potentially a house. I don't see how that's the case, but if that's the case, they could put some there. I know they could fit one in a soundstage. The one that they had back in HHN 29 for Stranger Things, that location, they could do a house there potentially as an add-on. They wanted to bring the Men in Black tent back, if that's possible, because I know they brought a partial bit of that tent back. If they just add a full length there, they're not using it for storage, that could be another house location. We'll have Kid Zone done, I hope, by then and stuff. So the logistics of where, the houses enter and exit and stuff back there will be a little bit better. So they might even be able to use the Men in Black spot instead of having to go all the way around like they have been. So I feel like next year points to if they need to really control crowd capacity. And I know they're going to look at certain ticketing options, like Rush of Fear might be in danger. That's a rumor we're putting out there. But I think if they really want to control it with the benefit of the consumer, it'll be adding on more houses. So the question is, what else could they do, though, besides that to help with houses that don't affect the consumer? I keep saying the consumer, the guest. I'm talking like the consumer. What do you think? I know that was like a 30-minute rant.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I you guys know me. I love HHN.
I'm reading the comments.
But I'm worried. So. Somebody said sell week passes instead of season passes. That would be an interesting idea, but unfortunately, if they did the week passes, they would have to go to like a reservation type of system saying which week are you purchasing, and they're really going to have to track which weeks are that.
No, he means they mean kind of like how Disney has like the weekday pass. So like you're blocked out on the weekends, but you can go any weekday, I think.
They said people are going just to go because they bought season passes and feel obligated, really need to get rid of them.
Oh, do you mean a full week?
Like just a week.
Or do you mean like weekday?
I think it might mean just a week. Weekend in October, where it is Florida residents only. See, I would actually love it if they had like specific special nights. That's something like that, where it's like Florida residents only, or like frequent fear, or like ultimate frequent fear pass holders or whatever. They get like a special night. They can go and enjoy it. But it gets a little like technical when it gets to that too.
I do think if they used both parks, it would help a lot. I do think that could be something that they would consider once Epic opens, because I think part of the reason why they don't do that right now is because there's so many people that go to Universal during like HHN season. It's a whole 2 months that aren't there for HHN, that are there like with their children, and they're going for like, a daytime trip. They don't want to go to HHN. And if you have both parks closing
Pokes.
at 5 p.m., you're going to have a lot of people that are either upset because they're paying the same price for like half of a day, or people that are just not buying tickets for like the daytime because they're only getting half of a day. So I think that's part of the reason why they don't use both parks. But once they have Epic, they won't have that issue because they can just direct those people to that park.
I agree.
So it might be a little bit easier to have both parks for HHN once Epic opens.
Yeah. I know there's like a crowd out there that's just like, no, HHN can never go back to islands. I'm sorry, but I don't know why that crowd exists. Excuse me. I might come off rude by saying that, but it's like they could easily do islands, and you don't have to do the entire Islands of Adventure. I mean, you can have the connection from the sound stages where Seuss Landing is. Now, I know there's like contract issues when it comes to that, but they can find ways around it.
Yeah.
They can find ways around it.
Also, Fred asked if studios could support an 11th or 12th house, and yeah, because we've seen them use the Men in Black tent as a house that they're not currently using. We've seen them use
Shrek building,
which we've heard that there's space in there to do a house.
If there is space for a house, it's going to be very small. So I'm not even sure.
But there's also, they fit 2 houses in each of those sound stages. And right now they're using 2 sound stages, but there's 4 of them back there.
And I know they use the sound stages too for production going on throughout the year.
They use like half of one of them.
For instance, like I said, back in HHN 29, the Stranger Things location is not being used. It hasn't been used since. So that's another location they could look to put a house in there as well.
Yeah. And there's like, you have like the Blue Man Group like area.
I don't think they'll ever use Blue Man Group building.
I mean, probably not.
They can't.
But
they won't be able to do that.
I'm just saying they have like so much space back there in like the backstage area that they could add more houses. It just might logistically be hard with the lines. That's the one thing that I'm thinking. Because like, where do you put all those people that are waiting in line?
Yeah, that is true. Because right now they're kind of maxed in the soundstage area for lines.
Yeah. Right
now. But that's why you would open up islands for those, like maybe 2 more. I think they could do 2 more houses in a soundstage, and those 2 houses can come from islands. You can do a scare zone over an island. It's like a very small thing. Have a ride or 2 open in islands, and it's just like a small portion to add over there. And then at Universal, you can have your typical 10 that we currently have. If they can fit one in that Minions building, which I don't know how, but from what people are telling me that they could fit one in there, that'll be 11, and then Men in Black tent, that'll be 12. And there you go. In my opinion, too, the area you guys know where the tents are, the sprung tents, you have the sprung tents and the 2 parade buildings. There's still enough space over there that they could build another warehouse building or another sprung tent and do another house back there, too, in the back.
It's a lot of storage.
I mean, yeah, but open storage space for like vehicles and stuff that they could easily just put aside. And if they were to do a parade building like they have for B108, where right now B108 is the location for Last of Us, they could put the vehicles in the building. So it's still not taking space. They're still using it, but half of that building is a small haunted house they could do for the event. It doesn't have to be huge. It's just adding something simple in there to at least take some crowd control away. Or help with the crowd control.
Or another show that they could do.
Well, see,
I know somebody had said, we have the Lagoon, if they ever bring that back.
That's another thing that'll help with crowds.
We also have the Animal Actors stage, which I don't know what they could do there, but I'm sure they could do something.
Animal Actors literally do that, but a nighttime Halloween version. And all the animals come out dressed as like little characters and stuff like that.
Don't they do that? Somebody said that they do that in Hollywood or something? Or they used to do that. I remember
that might have been something they used to do, but I don't think it was in Orlando. It might have been a different location. See, and then even like Fred said this too. So you're talking about Universal constructing something like 13, 14, maybe even 15 houses. Is that viable? I think so. I think they can do a max of 14 houses right now. And when it gets to logistics, it's like the problem with that is the queue lines. Where do you actually make those people get in line for? Because here's another thing too. You gotta remember the Blood Moon, like half of the queue line is in a soundstage. If they can find where else to put that soundstage could be a house. They could put that half that portion, that could easily be a house. Then you got to find a queue for that. And really what I think is the Blue Man section, they could have a queue go past Blue Man and around to the soundstage there to enter that.
That's kind of what I meant.
No, I thought you meant for a house.
No.
Oh, okay.
Just like it's area that they could use.
Yeah. So like right behind Hard Rock and stuff, they could have where Blood Moon goes in as a house. They can have right next to it too another house potentially and have the 4 queue lines. It'll be a tight fit, but they can make it work. And that queue line on the left of Blood Moon could go around Blue Man into the next soundstage.
Yeah. And I do think that what Javier said is probably one of the issues with adding more houses is actually keeping them staffed.
Yeah, it's labor. Labor is the most controlled thing a company can do when it comes to cost. Just cut on labor. And with them adding more things, they're going to have to not only add the expenses for construction and upkeep and maintenance and all that, but you need people to run those, which is labor. So that's the only thing. So they would have to look at it as like, if we're going to do that, if we're adding a house and we're doing all this stuff, there's going to be an increase to our costs, which they're going to then look at us and say, we need a little bit more. But the way I look at it, it's like, hey, you're charging me more this year for less items that I got last year.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's one of those things where we can kind of play that game of where's the line being drawn, you know?
And we don't have the budget reports or anything like that, so we don't know.
Yeah. And also Holloran said too right here, that's what I was thinking. Can they get that many reliable scare actors? You know how many scare actors actually audition every single year and don't get the parts?
I mean, at least when we were auditioning. I haven't been to an audition.
Might have changed. Like 10 people show up. All right, you guys got it.
Yeah.
But I know like scare acting and stuff, back in our day and stuff, hundreds of people would show up.
And they, out of like your group of people, they would take like 3. And there was
my group
30 people in that group.
In 2019, we had like, I think it was 40. We had 40 people, I think it was like exactly. And only 2 of us got accepted. And this was earlier in the year too. So all those people and stuff that don't get it. And, you know, Stephanie in 2018 originally did not get accepted until they ended up bringing the Blumhouse house, the haunted house in 2018. And they called her back. It's like, hey, you're perfect for this role. Can you do this? Absolutely. So they still have a whole lot of people that audition and don't get it every year. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that would love to do it. And me personally, I feel like there's people who would love to do it that deserve it more than some. I'll put that out there. So, yeah, I feel like they can add more to it. I definitely think like once Kid Zone is back in, they can put where The Last of Us is over by Monsters. They can bring Darkest Deal where Last of Us is, Oddfellow where Darkest Deal is, and then that opens up the Men in Black tent area. That opens up the Men in Black tent area. And if they could put the full tent there, do another house like they did, you know, back in HHN 30 was the last one where they had Scary that went in that location. They can have the queue line for Men in Black be where it once was. And there's your 11th house. They can easily make that work out. So 2 houses in Kid Zone where Last of Us is now, they just push one there, which Darkest Deal would be. Then where Darkest Deal is, just push Oddfellow there. You can have the queue lines like normal and then do the Men in Black tent. That's how it used to be. Yeah, and it worked fine.
I don't know why they
changed because they took the Men in Black tent away, they had to pick one up, so they put it in the soundstage. That's where Blood Moon is. But if they keep the sound stages there, which I think work out fine, they just got to add the Men in Black tent back, and those are normal like they used to be. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if they bring Kid Zone back. I'm like, but where's Barney then? Like, where's it? That's all in the construction.
Yeah.
So I think they can make that work. So, and how about a show in Jason Bourne?
Yeah, I saw somebody mention
I don't know.
that.
That'd be
I
something
don't
we have
know
to look
because
into.
the Bourne show has so much like
So technical.
is so technical and a lot of like I don't know. I feel like they wouldn't want that stuff to get messed up because it has those RFIDs in the floor and stuff. And I don't know how that works, but I think they wouldn't.
I think that'd be a conversation we'll dive a lot more into, you know, in November, December, January, February, all the months leading up to HHN 2024 next year for the 33rd annual event here in Orlando, Florida.
Cool.
Other than that, what else do we have to say? I think there was a couple other things.
I do think going kind of off of the whole crowd thing, we saw Five Nights at Freddy's over the weekend. And we also saw yesterday that it is the highest grossing Blumhouse movie of all time, right?
Yes.
Or
I mean, opening weekend
box office.
Like their biggest global release, and
which
the movie's doing really good numbers.
In HHN's mind, I'm sure they're like, if we can get that, that's great because a lot of people are going to want to see that. Me, I'm like, oh no, that's not good.
Houston, we have a problem here.
Like, if The Last of Us and Stranger Things 4 didn't completely break this event, I think Five Nights would.
Well, here's the thing, though. Do you think The Last of Us and Stranger Things is a result for how busy it was? Or do you think the event's gotten to a point where... Here, I'm going to bring the mic closer over here, too, by the way. Or do you think the event's gotten to a point where it's just so well-known and so popular that people are going to go regardless?
I think they will. But I think that if you don't have these huge IPs, there will be some people that are like, we could skip it this year and maybe go next year, save the money, go do something else this year. Whereas,
let's go to Mickey's Mary Mary.
Whereas, like, I know there were people, because we talked to people, I know there were people this year that weren't even planning on going
until what was announced.
Last of Us was announced, and they were like, well, I have to go.
Yeah.
I heard so many people in line for different houses and at the event this year say, like, we're here literally just for The Last of Us. Like, that's the only reason why we came. And I guarantee that would happen with Five Nights.
See, I don't know. I just feel like the event's gotten to a point where, and I might be wrong, but I deal, like, with my job, I deal a lot with people in all forms of backgrounds, ages, and all that kind of stuff. And it's gotten to the point where, because social media is it runs human society now, that for younger age groups, going to Horror Nights is like the cool thing to do, right? Like, you guys went to Horror Nights, our group, and they post about it, they take pictures and all. And FOMO is a big thing, fear of missing out. It's a huge thing nowadays where people don't want to miss out on that must-do thing. And Horror Nights is kind of one of those so prestigious haunts in the U.S. every single year now that, the younger audience, and even like older audience, this goes for anybody really, where it's like you don't want to miss out on the event. Like, you don't want to miss out on that. You got to know somebody that knows about it. Now, it's not really so well known. I know Steph and I joked about doing a little road trip tour or whatever, where in the off season we travel to each state and find the biggest Horror Nights fan in each state and like interview them and find out, how many people truly know about Horror Nights outside of like the local areas. That'd be a fun. Anyways, so I really wonder, like, because of that with social media, and it's gotten to the point of like the whole FOMO thing, everybody wants to go, they want to post and just say they're there, whether they care to be there or not. It's so big that I don't think it matters what's going to be at the event. I think that's like a prestigious thing to check off on your list. And look, I went to Horror Nights this year.
I agree. But how many people do you think, like, have heard of Horror Nights, but are like, I'm not really a haunted house fan. I don't really care for that stuff. So, like, they never thought to even go. But then, like, Five Nights at Freddy's is their favorite video game ever. And then they see an ad for that. And they're like, I have to go to that.
Maybe, yeah, probably. And they probably don't even know what Horror Nights is, but they're like, I'm going to go to that. Exactly. It's a Five Nights at Freddy's experience.
And I think that probably also happened with The Last of Us.
Yeah,
Not saying...
I'd agree that it happens to... Like, for instance, like, I'm 100% agreeing with you, because I wouldn't watch certain, like, horror movies until they're like, coming to Halloween Horror Nights. I'm like, I got to watch this because it's going to be at Horror Nights. I have to watch this now.
But
So I could see it being like the experience too.
I mean, I guarantee if that's like something that you really, really care about, and then you see an ad that like, oh, you can literally walk through this game that you have played for years and you is like part of your life.
Yeah.
You're going to want to go do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can see that.
Even if you're not like necessarily a fan of haunted houses.
Now I'm gonna bring this up, and one more thing, and I think we're gonna get ready to call it night because I'm hungry, guys. I have to eat. I'm starving. Mick Bain here, been a member for Fright Club for over a month now, saying late to the party. Here, I'm gonna pull it up too. But hope everyone's going this week. Has perfect house runs, no food lines, low crowds, and no child hordes, except for the Megan horde. And those that drink enjoy a nice ice cold duff. Good words there. Yeah. Hope everybody that goes to this last week has a great like final run, because it's kind of sad. Like it's wrapping up, to be honest. And I forgot the one thing I was going to say. I think it was Five Nights at Freddy's. We were talking about that.
See,
hold up. Five Nights at Freddy's. 1 second. Don't let me forget this. I forgot, man. Whatever. It's gone.
See, we can't talk on Hollywood because we've only been once. We've only been this year. We haven't gone previous years. But we have been going to HHN Orlando since 28 and Brian 27 consecutively. And while I do think that like 28 and 29 were busy, like the lines for the houses were long, the crowds just feel different. It's not necessarily like, oh, the lines are like so much longer, or like, I don't know. They just, feels...
I'll say this, because even Hollow Rant said they think that it's not just because the people are coming for 2 to 3 nights. They think it's more of the locals that are just loitering. Here's the thing. The locals know where they're going and what they want to do. And there's a lot of groups that we notice, especially this year. And I'm not trying to call any first timers out. We've been there. We've done this, especially when we were in Hollywood. We were kind of just like, what do we do? Right. I think there's a lot of groups. There's a lot of crowds that come to HHN. And this goes along with your 28, 29 little topic. Back in 28, 29, great years. Some of the best years that we had in recent history, right? Even all the way to 25. I know somewhere earlier in the chat, somebody mentioned, what was the whole, like, why was 25 so revered and stuff? And I think there's a couple things, right? One, why was 25 revered and why I think 28 and 29 are? It's energy. The event gave you energy. It felt like a party. It doesn't feel like that recently. There's moments like when we were walking around last night where I was like, do you hear anything? It feels dead. There's no like energy. Those years had energy. And the crowds that went to HHN wanted to be there. They were like, we're going to do these houses. We're going to knock all this out. We have a game plan. We're going to rock and roll. Like, this is what we're doing. Hell yeah. HHN Halloween. Boom. Recently now, and that's why I point to the social media thing and all. It just seems more like it's like, what photo can I get? Like, oh,
people
like
walking around the Scarezones just like this.
Yeah, and it's fine. I'm not, dogging anybody.
Fine,
like, you get your videos, get the photos that you want. But I've noticed that in 28 and 29, those crowds were all in the lines. They were all for the shows. They were doing HHN activities and offerings, where this year there's the crowds now. It seems like they're just kind of wandering around because they don't know what they want to do. So I wouldn't really say that's more of a local thing. I would actually think that is really like, that's a lot of people who come in, they just don't know what they want to do. They may not have a plan. And that's why a lot of times in spec season, and when we have our beginners, we always say, like, biggest thing is make sure you have a plan. Have a game plan, know where you want to be, know what time you want to do. And a lot of our viewers that we run into the park who end up doing that, like, hey, we planned this out all. We've already knocked all the stuff. Awesome. Yeah. They're having a great night. And I've ran into people too where it's 10 p.m. They're like, we've only done a house. What? What time did you get? We got here at 7 o'clock. Well, you guys only did one house. What have you been doing? We've just been walking around.
And that's where, like, I do agree that a lot of congestion comes from people who are just like loitering and just there to like just be there, but aren't necessarily like they're not walking with a purpose. They're just kind of chilling, like loitering, whatever. But like, as locals that go consistently, like, we don't do that. So it's like hard to say like, oh, everybody who has a frequent fair pass is the problem. You know what I mean? Because I think it's even people who get single night tickets who don't really even care to go, but are just like Brian said, like, just go to like take a photo and be like, I'm at Horror Nights.
I'm gonna go tomorrow to Horror Nights dressed up as the an HHN police crowd control unit. And I'm going to go up and interview everybody and be like, what are you doing right now? Oh, we're walking around. No, get to a house line right now. Go here, blood room, 20 minutes, get in there.
Right.
I'm going to start doing that tomorrow. Really, this conversation, it's like, it's not to pinpoint towards anybody because nobody knows the answer. Like, truthfully, no one does. You know, everybody does a bit of everything kind of thing. It's just, it's gotten to the point where it's so popular, right? But one thing I've noticed this year that last year was a big thing. Right. I would even say HHN 30 kind of did this too. The ride wait times for the rides were extremely long. This year, the ride wait times are not long at all. What
happened last year?
Last year, a lot of the nights we went to, the rides were 50 minutes, like on average for most nights. Where this year, I see it for 5, 10, maybe 15, 20 minutes sometimes. But there's no wait time for the rides either. And those are a crowd eater as well. I don't see that normally for this year, where last year that was a big thing that I saw last year that was eating the crowd away too.
Yeah. I also think Fred asked what 25 did like so correctly because it was like the best. And I feel like we can't necessarily speak on that because we didn't go for 25. So like we don't personally know like what was different about that year. But I can speak on like 28. Because like that's my favorite year. And I think a lot of the difference is like all of the houses, all of the scare zones, other than Blumhouse, unfortunately, because that was my house.
I liked Blumhouse because I found out you were in it.
All of the houses, all of the scare zones that year were good.
Solid.
Were bangers.
Banger.
And I feel like since like post-COVID, like 30, 31, 32.
There's still a pumpkin in front of you.
They have all been every single year. It's been like we have like 3 houses that are like really good, a handful of houses that are like okay, and then like 2 or 3 that are like not.
I'm gonna use 28 as an example, right?
Yeah.
It feels like recently since 30, it's like houses are really good. Scare zones are eh. Next year, the houses are eh. Scare zones are really good. This year, houses are good. Scare zones eh. Right? It's kind of got that flip flop. Where in 28, like the scare zones were like, those are fun. Those are really good. Like them. Also, the houses, I feel like in 28, I mean, name them off the bat right now. Poltergeist, I'd go through like right now if it was a house today. Like if we went to Horror Nights tonight, right? Poltergeist, I'd go through. First Stranger Things, I'd go through it. Right? Blumhouse, I may skip.
Halloween
Sorry.
4.
Halloween 4, I'd go through that. I was biased, but I'd go through Halloween 4.
Slaughter Cinema.
Slaughter Cinema, I'd go through that house.
Dead Exposure.
Dead Exposure, I'd go through it. Patient Zero.
Yeah, you're talking.
Carnival Graveyard, I'd go through Carnival Graveyard.
All good.
Right? Give me another one.
Good.
That's 6.
I mean, Blumhouse.
I think I did. Yeah, maybe. What else am I missing?
I'm trying to think.
What are other ones from 28? Oh, Seeds of Extinction. I'd go through Seeds of Extinction, right? Yeah. Just right there. Like that's 7, right? 7 houses that I'm like, I would go through every single night because we have Express. We'll do it. Yeah. Where this year.
Even like, even the scare zones. Chucky was good.
Chucky was good to go through.
Vamp 85.
Vamp 85, amazing. Legendary, right? The Harvest one, cool. Kind of walk by it, but cool, right?
Twisted Traditions, good.
Twisted Traditions is iconic, right?
They actually had the Chainsaw Horde.
Yeah, Chainsaw Horde was going through.
And not only did they have a Chainsaw Horde in Springfield, but also in San Francisco. And
they had Killer Clowns as a scare zone too. So like, those are things that I'm like, every single night I go to HHN on a event like that, I'm like, dude, every night, baby, we got to do all 7 of these houses. We just have to. There's no way I can go home and not do Slaughter Cinema today. I can't also skip out on Stranger Things or Poltergeist. I will say, to play devil's advocate, I will say all those houses were amazing. But to play devil's advocate, I only got to go a handful of nights that year because I was scare acting. Brian only got to go through a few of the houses. Stranger Things. Okay, Brian only got to go through Stranger Things. And then Halloween 4, but yeah. Because he was scare acting that year. So it could also be that, like, because I only did it a few nights, it was, like, better because I didn't see it multiple times. See, not just because of that, though. Like, I look at the houses we have right now. Give me the houses that are the top right now for you this year. right? Darkest Steel, Monsters, right? We'll throw Oddfellow in there. I think Oddfellow is a solid one. Give me another one.
Exorcist.
Exorcist, decent. To me, Exorcist is kind of boring over time. It's kind of dropped. But Exorcist, Yeti, it's been good, but we've had a bad run through of Yeti recently, right? What else? Right? And it's like, we're in 28. I'm like, dude, the whole list, like, yes, 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 yes. And granted, because we didn't go through so much, but if they gave us that list now, right? They gave us houses like that. I'd feel every night we'd go, I'm like, we need to do this house. Like, we'll do this. And even if we started getting tired in some, there's still like 5 houses that were like solid. We'll still go through every single night because you have to. I feel like we haven't had an event like that.
I don't know. A lot has changed within the company after 2020. So I don't know.
Hollow Rant even said like Rob Zombie Scarezone in 29. 29 was great too. There were some strong houses.
I
and
think
Scarezones,
maybe there's more budget restrictions, or maybe there's different channels that they have to go through now, and that just makes things like not like it used to be. Or maybe we're just jaded. I don't know.
Look, this is only opinionated. We just speak with our hearts. And here's the thing too. Like, you guys remember Patrick Braillard? I miss Patrick.
We miss Patrick.
I miss the energy like Patrick had on stage. Nate. I miss seeing like Nate.
Nate was I don't always know. Very serious. So.
Yeah, but I just like the group that like I guess I grew up with seeing, like, I miss them. Now, there's nothing wrong with the group that we have now. Incredible people. Anybody that gets the opportunity to work on these, obviously they know what they're doing, right? I mean, look what we got, So, but
HHN, this is what you would get if you hire us.
Right.
This is our resume.
Pumpkin guts, I carve you, right? So it's one of those things where it's like I wonder, like, why? Like, why is it different? And maybe because, like, after the events of 2020, a lot of things have changed. So I don't know if it's like just because our mindsets have changed and our tastes and things, or just in general, the event has kind of changed. So I don't know, because I know a lot of people that talk about it saying like, hey, it's not the way it used to be. And my number one question always to them is like, so exactly what is it that we're missing then? Like, what makes it like that,
Yeah.
And the biggest question or the biggest answer we'd always get, 9 times out of 10 is scary. It's not as scary as it used to be.
Hollow Rant said HHN would be much better if they hired Brian to do the preseason hype.
Hold up. I'm real quick before I get to that. I got to put this on the screen. I missed this.
Yeah.
Mikey Brown, by the way. So sorry I did not put this up earlier. With 1250 saying headed to HHN tomorrow for the holiday. That's awesome. Hope to see you guys there. Try the plasma punch at the Dead Coconut Club. It's chugger. Haven't even been to Dead Coconut Club yet. We didn't go last year.
We need to go.
I don't think we're gonna go this year. We don't drink anymore.
Drink, so we walk in the bars and we're like, go.
I'll take a glass of water and I'm here to boogie on down. They're like, well, do you need some like alcohol to Nah, bro, I don't need that. I got it right here. And it don't look good, but I'm doing it anyways. But Mikey, thank you so much. We'll be there tomorrow for the holidays, so we'll be celebrating Halloween.
Yeah.
But I want to put this up real quick. I want to put this up on the screen. Hollow Rant, congrats. You got this. You got the time right now on the screen. HHN would be much better if they hired Brian to do the preseason hype. Would they be better? I'm not going to say they are. They would. I would argue against that. I would say I'd be worse for HHN. The problem that I feel like where like HHN kind of dies off, and why I feel like there is kind of that like people are just kind of HHN'd out right now, is because we hunger so much in the preseason, in the spec season announcement. We hunger so much and it's never fulfilled. And I know sometimes when you build up that hype so much and then you get to the event, it's like, okay, I'm good, right? I got that out. I'm good, right? But I feel like there could be so much more in that preseason because to me, and I've always said this, HHN has one of the most unique communities in the world, right? We're one of the few things, community-wise that's out there speculating for what's to come. And like, people who do that when they watch like big shows and there's like a cliffhanger. Oh, what do you think's gonna happen in this? And like video games, movies and stuff. We have an event. It's a Halloween event. It's just a Halloween event. We have a community that tries to speculate what is to come to the event. We have a community that not only speculates, They do drawings, they do videos, they do photos, they do creative elements just to show the fan base, like, I love HHN. Look at this, right? We do that. This is why we sit here and talk about this, because we love HHN. It's the only reason why we're sitting. We're not sitting here to make money. We're not sitting here to find a business. We're not sitting here to sell tickets for a company. We're not paid for this. We just do this because we love the event, period. It's why we do this. And there are so many people out there that do the same thing for the same reasons, because they love HHN.
Yeah.
HHN has a special community. And to me, HHN is not just the month of September and October. It is all year. People talk about it all year. When you have a community that talks about it all year, that's all they do. Like right now, we have people talking about HHN 2024 speculations. Like next year's already beginning. This year's just closing its chapter. Next year's already opening up, and that's starting to go. And people, Five Nights at Freddy's, is it going to be at the house next year? Oh, Michael Aiello, he started talking about this. Oh, look at the numbers. It happens year round. It doesn't stop. The conversation of HHN doesn't stop. So to me, what HHN and Universal need to do, and I know, it's a company and it's a big, they look at budget and things like that. That preseason is very special. And I feel like in recent years, and I think a lot of you guys would agree with this, in recent years, it's kind of missed the mark on that, and maybe things didn't go their way. Maybe this is exactly what they're planned. But for me as a fan, I'm going to look at it, I'm like, I'm sorry, but out of all things this year with HHN, the weakest link was their spec season, their announcement season. That was the weakest thing this year. And it's kind of bothersome because there's so many people that look forward to it, so much hype that's built up. If HHN were to, and Universal really, I should say, where they plan to put those moments out throughout the year, little glimpse, a little photo, right? A little video, maybe like, remember back in 30, they did those static things and stuff where we all were just like staring at a static screen. Like, what is it, right? Throw something like that out in March, whatever. It doesn't have to have anything on there, but it has the crowd and the community just like diving and like pausing. Look at minute 12, second 13. Do you see that? Doesn't that look like that guy? Yeah. It's like that guy. Remember him? Like, whatever, right? Do something like that, feed to the audience, and do it for the whole spec season. This where we get 3 announcements for the whole year. It doesn't happen until June. You get one in July, then the whole rest in August. It's kind of bothersome. So I feel like if they did that service, it would build so much more for HHN to make it what it always has been. And that's special. And it makes people more excited for the houses, for the event, for the scare zones.
See, I agree with Fred, though. The problem is that Universal knows that they don't really need to hype it up that much anymore to get people to come. And it's not necessarily like the creative people are like, oh, we don't need to do all that work. I think it's more so like the people up top that are like, we don't need to put this much money into marketing when like the return is the same whether we do this or don't do this.
Yeah. And here I want to dive into that too. And I'm sorry, I'm going to go on a rant. It is something I'm more passionate about than the event is the preseason. It's the hype. That's one thing that we like on this channel, like we like to do. We like to get people excited for the event, right? People ask me all the time, what is the number one thing you expect or hope from Horror Nights? And that is for every single guest when they walk out of HHN, they leave the event, for them to look at me and say, that was the greatest thing I've ever done. That is all I want. Because I feel like if that is the case, I feel like we win, right? The fans of HHN win. When they're like, everybody loved it, it's like, perfect. I want you to love it because we love it. I want you to see it from the way we see it. And for instance, when it comes to like talking about, HHN knows they don't need to do that. Yes, they don't. They really don't need to. They can keep doing what they've been doing recently. It's still going to work, obviously. But to me, that's a very corporate thing. What they need to realize is like, hey, we have this special thing where we don't have to do anything and it's going to work. What if we go against the typical like numbers rule and all that kind of stuff, and we say, hey, screw it, spare the expense, John Hammond kind of thing, and say, let's do it. Let's do it for the fans. Let's show them why we're in the spot. Yeah, we could take a step back and we'll still make sales, but we're not going to show that that's our priority. We're going to do the special thing, and we're going to show the other haunts saying, hey, you can't do what we can. And unfortunately, you'll never be able to because we're Halloween Horror Nights. And that's what Horror Nights to me should be doing. It's where they say, yeah, we can step back. We don't have to do anything, but we're going to do it. We're going to put the hard work in because hard work pays off. And that's what we want to show. And we're not just going to say, yeah, we're a big event. We made it here. Here's our houses. Come, spend $200, buy a ticket, come on in. You're like, hey, Do you know we have lore? Do you know who these characters are? We have new characters coming in. Do you see the whole story? Remember that house back in HHN 12? That's going to be a thing this year. And you're going to want to look at the building that we have in New York. Yeah, in our park, Boris Schuster, big deal with HHN. Go look at it. We have things changing throughout the days and stuff. Little things like that's a big reason why they are special. And I don't want them to lose that. And I think there was one more thing too, where even Hollerant's like, see, I think that's why you do the best in getting interaction among the fans. I genuinely think the creatives want that. I think there's a lot of people who work in Horror Nights that would love to do that, would want to do exactly what I said. I just think it's so corporate like now where they're like, we just can't. They won't allow us. The budget wise, it's not in the making. And these houses are not cheap. These haunted houses they build are not cheap. You know, to operate and staff it's not cheap. You know, companies are trying to find ways to save money every possible little inch that they can. That they look at this and like, why do we need to spend the money on it when people are going to show up? So that's really the problem, in my opinion. That's what I think. These are assumptions. I don't really know the true answer, but I know, for instance, like Charles Gray, like that's the name I see here, right? Charles Gray. He was like, yeah, I would love to do that, but just could they actually are they even allowed to do that? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll take a
good night,
step
everybody.
Back. Go ahead.
I'm good.
Sorry. Anyways. I don't know. I feel like I've said this in last year's event. I said it during the spec season this year, and I'll say it again. You know, I just feel like they need to, and it's not cater, it's just do what they've always done best and make Horror Nights a year-round thing.
Yeah, I do agree. I saw a few people saying like back in the 90s and stuff, like it was definitely more like fun. Like it seemed less serious. And it also seemed more like raw, less like polished.
Rah.
And did I say that weird?
No, you just.
Oh, it seemed more raw and just like less polished, I guess. And I feel like that's one of my big issues with HHN right now is like it feels so like clean. And like that's not a bad thing, but at the same time, like it just like isn't as scary as it used to be. I feel like, and maybe that's again nostalgia, being
desensitized,
jaded,
and stuff,
whatever. But it doesn't feel as scary. Like even we were walking out of Dragons last night, and there was a girl behind us, talking to her boyfriend or whoever guy that she was with, and she was saying to him like how she was scared to go through like a house or whatever, but then we had just gotten out of Dragons and they were behind us coming out of Dragons, and she was like, but that wasn't scary at all, like that was more just like fantasy,
right? Which I'm okay with that, like especially for a house like Dragons that, you know, like there are moments that are supposed to be like a little jump scare and all, but the house really wasn't targeted to be scary. And that is like, there's got to be a balance. I'm okay with some houses kind of being like that, where they kind of show like, look what we can create, where it's like, dang, that's really cool.
It can still be scary.
But here's the thing too. And I agree with you on that, but it goes back to where it's like, after doing that a couple times, it's like, I'm here to have that scare factor, that scare element.
It almost seems like they're like more concerned with like the theming and making it beautiful and making it like the coolest looking thing that they possibly can, and they're not quite as concerned with making it scary. And
here's a good,
unfortunately it kind of shows.
But here's a good example though, right? And this goes even for the scare zones in my opinion too. We went to Hollywood for the first time this year, and the toys scare zone in Hollywood, actually all of them, I'd give them all of them. There were people being terrified in that scare zone. People were running. The stilt walkers were chasing them. The scare actors had full energy. The music was blasting. Fire was going off. When we were standing there, I was like, holy smokes.
And
where is this?
And isn't that one that they have not every year, but they've had like, that's not brand new, right?
No, it's kind of like
and
how
it's
it
like,
is.
I would take that. Like I'd be fine with having the same scare zone 2 years in a row if it was like
constantly
really
aggressive
scary.
and energetic.
And I think one of the big things, especially this year, that I've noticed looking at like other haunts and other like scare actors and stuff like from different haunts I see them on like TikTok and stuff, and then also like Hollywood, is like a lot of them have like their masks for their characters are like creepy
They're
looking.
actually, like,
They're
creepy,
like
yeah.
scary, and the faces are all like distorted and bloody and like gross looking. And if you look at all of the scare zones that we have this year, like we don't have that really at all. We don't. Because like jungle, it's just like the creatures, which are not really scary, like to be honest. The one that shakes the thing like is kind of scary, but like not really.
Yeah.
And then
That's more like a jump scare.
Zodiac, same deal. Like the costumes are gorgeous, but they're not scary.
Yeah. Zodiac to me is a miss. And I know a lot of people like Zodiac. I just don't know why it's so industrial looking when I think Zodiac should have been very cosmic. We should have had all these like colors and stuff. And I get it, like if it's supposed to be darker and all for like Oddfellow, but I felt like the way Oddfellow is kind of cocky. I'm gonna be honest, right? He's confident, he's like, I got all this power, I can travel time, all this kind of stuff, and because he's got a luring type of nature, he wants to lure you in. Why wouldn't he be more open about that? Confident, like, yeah, he's got the power, I can do all this kind of stuff. So I feel like Zodiac should have been that more grand scare zone. I didn't really get that. Vamp, continuing our conversation. Vamp's got some bloodiness, but because the music and the vibe's so fun, there's nothing that you feel threatened with Vamp. You have a couple jump scares here and there. Vamp's still a great scare zone, still love it, but there's nothing that really has that scare factor. Shipyard 32, here's the thing. I got to say this. Shipyard 32 surprised me. I've done it more and more recently, and the scare actors in there have been giving energy. There's a couple of them in there that have been nonstop, and I always will give the best house award and the best scare zone award to the house and scare zone that have the highest energy, regardless of how the construction looks and the facades and all that kind of, great stuff we love. That's all done by creative teams. But I look at it when I rate my stuff, it's based on the scare actors. And so like Shipyard 32, I've noticed a lot of energy from the scare actors there, and they've been getting good scares too. So there's something there that's a little on edge, and there's a couple of things that need to be fixed here and there too. But I just feel like there's no moment where like I'm kind of like nervous. And here's the thing too. I love Horror Nights. Horror Nights doesn't scare me. And whenever it's opening night, we're about to go in a house, I always have that moment like, oh, okay, here we go. Like, where's the scares coming from? And it's gotten less and less of that, where I feel like it's still, for me, the type of person I am, I still get scared of like horror movies and haunts and things. When we go do other haunts, I'm a little nervous for it. And I wish that there was a house in Orlando that was still like that for me. It's like, even though I've gone so many times, I'm like, man, Darkest Deal.
I felt like that about Holidays.
Yeah, Holidays
was
the
smell. I was nervous
maybe
about getting nauseous, but Holidays put me on edge the 2 times that we went through it, and even Monstros.
But see, I would even say Darkest Deal, that last room. Yeah. There's that one scare actor we know on the left. Like, I know he's there, but every time I'm just like, at any second, that dude's gonna come out, and I'm gonna get jump scared. There's no way I cannot. And every single time pops out right at the perfect time for the flash. I'm like, ooh. I'm like, dang. So. And I know like horror and getting scared is such a like opinionated thing. It's subjective. It's kind of hard, but I feel like this. You guys remember this? This is Universal Orlando's Halloween Horror Nights: The Art of the Scare. I might actually end up watching this tonight. I might stay up and watch this, because this was like a documentary they did with Horror Nights back in the early 2000s when they had Islands of Fear, and they were showing like certain ways they did scares and all. And you kind of look at it, it's kind of cheesy, right? But I feel like that's something what we need. We kind of need that cheesiness, that little like kind of tacky, cheap look to make it kind of feel a little like unnerving. Because a lot of things is polished, a lot of things is clean. And don't get me wrong, it's great. I love seeing that. But we need one house that I'm going to walk in. And there's like, they did this, I think, in Monsters in Hollywood, where there's like bodies hanging that you have to walk through. I remember when we got to that part.
It was Monsters.
Yeah, Monsters. Yeah. In Hollywood, there's a section where they have the bodies hanging. You have to walk through. Instead of just the curtains you always have that's annoying in your face, they put bodies there. And I remember I was like, whoa, what is this? And I remember walking through that like, oh, geez. And as soon as I got past one, a phantom popped up right in front of me. That was one of the first scares that I got when I was out there. One of the first scares I had in HHN in a long time. So, yeah, I don't know. So I might take a watch of this. And maybe you guys, I think it's on YouTube.
It is on YouTube.
Yeah, you can watch it on YouTube. Art of the Scare, Halloween Horror Nights. Check it out. We did a giveaway with these some time ago. I remember that.
And Now we are almost at 2 hours.
One more hour until Halloween. Right. So yeah, Javier said Scarecrow the Reaping, HHN 27. Yeah. Scarecrow was good. And Fred said, "Is that that's a new DVD? We haven't opened it. I'm saving it.
It's not new, as in like it recently came out.
It's an old one.
Old, but
we got it from Freaks of HHN. Cool people there.
At Spooky Empire.
Purchased that, and I was like, I'm gonna take a couple more. So, but yeah, is that a 2006 documentary? I don't know if it's 2006 or 2002. Actually, I think it's based on 2002's Islands of Fear, and it came out like recently after that. I'm not too sure. So, but anyways, with that being said, I know we kind of like just blew up on a random tangent with HHN. That's why I didn't really want to get into HHN too much tonight.
Yeah,
a couple of things. All I'm gonna say is what we're gonna be doing tonight. Or not tonight, in the next coming days and weeks and months is Steph and I, our plan for HHN 24. We're going to try to do as much as we can. And this year didn't really go as planned. And who knows, maybe next year doesn't either. But we're going to do our best to really focus on the off season, the speculation season and announcement season. And we're going to do our best to create as much as we can for you guys. Things that are informative about HHN and stuff, but we're going to try to do a lot of creative work. And we want to really like showcase not only what we can do, but also what the community can do, like HHN community. So we're going to be reaching out to a lot of content creators, a lot of people who are involved with, just being fans of HHN. And we want to create a lot of things to really showcase like how special the off season can be for Horror Nights and for the community. And we really want to make a statement with that. So that's something that we're really focusing. And it's kind of what we've been like, not making a lot of videos for HHN this year. Granted, we've been busy, but we've also said, hey, let's get a lot of footage for this video. Let's go ahead and plan for this year or for this video for the coming year. So we really want to put our time towards that. And hopefully we can make it exciting and hyped up for you guys for next year's HHN. We're going to kind of try to rally the troops and really like say, hey, HHN, come on, join us.
Yeah.
Get involved.
Also, to answer Javier's question, one house from previous years you wish you could go through that you missed? Gothic.
There's a lot. I can't say. Gothic would be a cool one.
I would like to see The Shining too.
Oh, see, I went through Shining was one of the first houses I went through, and that was fun. That was actually the first haunted house I went through by myself. Nobody in line. I was the last guest to go to the house one night. Nice. And I got scared. That was a big boy moment for me. I got out of that house and I was like, never again. But it was cool. So nice. Especially since I've never seen Shining. So I don't know what was going on.
Just had a naked old lady run at you.
I don't think I saw that. Thank God. If I saw that, HHN's not for me. I'm sorry. So, but and then Holloran said, what if fans were able to recreate an old HHN house like Dungeon of Terror? Hold that thought and remember what I said and wait till HHN 2024 season. That's all I'll put out there. So, well, anyways, we went way over the time we thought we were going to go for tonight. Stephanie just finished the pumpkin carving. Woo, which if it was me, I'd probably still be carving this. Here, pick it up. I want the... Oh, he's still heavy. How's it look?
Oh, is that like a little like cigarette or a pipe or something?
No, it's a pumpkin carving tool.
I know, but like, is it supposed to symbolize anything? Or like a piece of straw?
I don't know. Can you see? Does it look right?
You need to turn it a little bit. Oh.
Which way? This way?
That way. Yeah, right there. Up a little bit. There you go. That looks pretty good. Nice.
I don't know.
My computer died.
Oh, Steph's computer died. So there we go. Did we ever name him?
No.
Hondo's friend.
Okay.
This is Hondo's friend. That's what we name him. Pumpkin Straw Spruce.
Pumpkin Straw Spruce.
I like that. That's kind of funny. I just want to be a famous musician. We have the guitar over there.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah, cool. So, ladies and gentlemen, There we go. Little pumpkin guy. That's going to do it for us tonight on a Hallows Eve live stream. Literally for the East Coast, we're less than an hour away from Halloween, the official holiday.
Yeah.
Right? Which is exciting. So we're looking forward to it. Maybe we'll see some trick-or-treaters for Hondo. He could be like, here, trick-or-treat.
He'll just bark at them.
Yeah. Well, give me your candy. Get off my yard. Give me the candy. But yeah, so we'll hope that you guys, for whatever plans you guys have for Halloween, stay safe, have fun, enjoy the night, because it's one of the best of the year. And for any of you guys that's going to be at HHN, keep an eye out for us. We should be out there and stuff. Look around for us. We'll be trick-or-treating, asking people for Reese's Cups if they have any. But with that being said, I think that's going to be it for us tonight. And we'll be at HHN all week to wrap up the final week for HHN 2023. It's kind of sad realizing we're here at the end.
It is.
But sure enough, once that's done, we'll be back right away. Live stream next week, talk about it, wrap it up, and then get ready for 2024 season. Just like that. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, have a happy Halloween. Stay safe, have fun. And I guess this has got to be the going out video that we have to put up because it's me dying.